Clint Ober is the innovator behind the grounding movement and CEO of EarthFX Inc., a research and development company located in Southern California, where he designs and develops indoor grounding products and continues to investigate the health benefits of grounding. A series of seemingly unrelated yet highly synchronistic events dating back to his early childhood led to groundbreaking breakthrough for him. Grounding has now become a massive international movement, causing people to shed their shoes and reconnect electrically to the surface of the earth. We at the Yoga Research Society, in keeping our ears to the ground and perpetually trying to keep ourselves well grounded, are honored to welcome Clint Ober to the 45th Annual Yoga Research Society Conference.
Anyhow, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here and to share this work. 20 years ago, first of all, I spent 30 years in the communications industry, so I have a working knowledge of ground, not something that most people are aware of, but anything in the communications industry has to be grounded to earth in order for it to work properly and to maintain electrical stability, and most of all to prevent fire and charge like lightning and so on. And but anyhow, 30 years ago or 20 years ago, one day I just through a process of playing with some computers, I went outdoors and I was looking at a tour bus come pull up, and a bunch of people got off and they had the big white Nike type tennis shoes on, and just intuitively I asked the question, I wonder if there's a consequence to humans no longer being grounded, because when I was a child, we were always grounded. We always had, this is like 1950, I was born in 44, and anyhow, very seldom did we ever wear shoes except to go to church or to go to school or a wedding or some event. And anyhow, I didn't really know, so that evening I went and I started doing some testing to find out what the effect might be on wearing shoes. And this picture here is just to illustrate that it used to be normal to be barefoot. We would go to school barefoot. We would ride wherever we went. We were always barefoot. Wearing shoes you had to wear as a necessity to protect your feet, and like it's hot out or it's it's a cultural thing. But so anyhow, this was the graphic that we came up with 20 years ago to try to illustrate what we were talking about, because the majority of the population is unaware that the earth has a negative surface charge, or that what electrical ground is. And what it really is it's a negative energy, a negative surface charge, meaning an abundance of free electrons that can move fast and reduce charge, like lightning or static electricity or anything like that. So, but anyhow, the concept is very simple. When you're standing barefoot on the earth, whether it's an animal, a human, a plant, a tree, a bird, anything, your body is conductive, and your body will be negative 20 millivolts. Having a 30-year background in communications, that tells me that you cannot have charge when you're grounded, because that's why we ground everything to earth in the electrical world. That's why your refrigerator's grounded, why everything is grounded, in order to maintain a negative surface charge so that there can be no electrical event, no harmful electrical event, and no fire. So anyhow, as soon as we put shoes on, then we lose that charge. So I'll come back to that. But back in 1950, most everybody was still barefoot. But you can see the growth of rubber-soled shoes, synthetic-soled shoes, the athletic shoes. It's a perfect curve going up. And at the time we put this together, we didn't really know as much about it as what was actually the cause. But anyhow, in 2004, we started doing the work on grounding in 1999. In 2004, Ritker and the fellows over at Boston, Mass. Came out with an article and said that you don't really have cancer, you don't really have these health disorders by name. I mean, there's like 80 or 100 names of chronic health disorders. What you really have is you have chronic inflammation that manifests itself differently in different people based on your lifestyle and your living environment, meaning that some people would manifest heart disease, some people might manifest MS or lupus or cancer or arthritis and so on. So anyhow, we took that, knowing what we had learned about the effects of grounding on inflammation or on chronic pain, we took that lead and we developed a working hypothesis, one that you can't have inflammation in a grounded body. So we started producing studies to show the effects of grounding the body. But just a simple, I'm just doing a setup here for the movie. But anyhow, the hands on the top, a lot of the, especially ladies, have cold fingers, cold toes. When we ground somebody for 15, 20 minutes, their hands, the circulation in their hands improves naturally. Nothing else, just grounding them. Same in the toes, cold toes, and so on. And it has to do with the blood, but I'm not going to get into this. I just want to leave it to this at this point. Anyhow, we have a growth of rubber-soled shoes. The red line there is the growth of diabetes. The blue line is the growth of MS, but you can also put autism, lupus, cardiovascular disease, cancer. They are all following the same exponential curve. And a lot of people say, well, there's a lot of things that are the cause of it. It's this, it's that, it's high fructose sugar, it's that, and so on. But anyhow, we looked, it's like high fructose sugar came along in the mid-70s. And so the curve on diabetes was moving forward in earnest at that point. But anyhow, the point is, we tied this correlated these things together, and the movie is going to show you a 20-year history of the work that we've done, and it's got a lot of people in it, everybody from Dr. Stephen Sinatra to Deepak Chopra to a host of other researchers and a host of individuals who will tell you their stories. And I think that you'll gain watching the movie will be very valuable for you this evening. And when we get through, then we'll get into the question and answers. And I think that'll be the best way to go rather than me try to explain it first. Okay? So we're ready to show a movie, Mike.
Our names are Rebecca and Josh Tickell. We're filmmakers, and our specialty is making films about the environment. In 2010, we made a movie called The Big Fix, about an oil spill that happened in Louisiana. While filming that movie, I was exposed to a toxic chemical dispersant. My health suffered considerably, and I had skin rashes and other problems. Doctors said that I may even have problems conceiving or bearing children. In spite of the warnings, we decided to try to have kids anyway. Even knowing the risks didn't make it any less devastating when I had a miscarriage.
My love, little person that gets you as dad is very lucky. Really?
Now she's looking at you. Oh, she lifted her hand. Oh my God. That's so.
When we got pregnant with our daughter, the doctor said there was a birth defect, and there was a chance she wouldn't make it.
I love you, Athena.
Miraculously, she was born healthy and happy. But for 2 years, she had chronic sicknesses. And we were in and out of hospitals almost constantly. So we decided to look at all of our options. And nothing was off the table.
Call your doctor if your depression worsens or if you have unusual changes in behavior or thoughts of suicide.
Symptoms of a serious allergic reaction may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing.
High blood sugar can lead to coma or death. Other risks
Cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, or tenderness.
The dichotomy between alternative and traditional medicine is a false one.
So first off, what we have to talk about is what exactly is CBD.
There are some natural doctors out there who literally claim they know everything. So they're telling you about vaccinations, they're telling you about everything that you should do. I think you need to be very cautious as a consumer of healthcare. There are medical doctors out there who offer some of this I'll call it hocus pocus.
Virtual dolphin therapy.
It's the most relaxing experience you could ever have.
Snake massage therapy. Urine therapy.
And the only thing I can do is to drink my own pee.
Finally, a friend gave us a copy of the book called Earthing. The premise? By planting your bare feet on the ground, your body will begin to heal itself. Could such a simple thing help our daughter get better? It sounded too easy. We were skeptical. And as it turns out, we weren't the only ones.
Please welcome Gwyneth Paltrow. There are a couple of things, and I've written them down here. For instance, tell us about earthing. What is earthing?
Oh, okay. It's kind of, they say that we've lost touch with sort of being barefoot in the earth, and that there's some type of electromagnetic thing that we're missing. And
That is
so
true.
It's good to take your shoes off and walk in the grass.
Okay.
I don't know what the we talk about.
So we decided to consult the experts.
In simple terms, grounding is literally putting your bare feet on the ground. When you do that, you're in contact with the Earth, and Mother Earth is endowed with electrons. And these electrons are literally absorbed through your feet. It's like taking handfuls of antioxidants, but you're getting it through the feet.
Grounding means connecting to the earth to support the specific function of the organs of your body. It supports the body as a whole, but it specifically supports organ systems down to the tissues and the cellular function of the entire body.
Grounding provides a steady, we call it a ground plane. It's like lying naked on the earth. But where I come from, in the winter, you can't do that. All the systems in the body, all of them that we've measured, and we've measured just about everything you can think of, everything goes to balance, to normal, when you're grounded.